He was the joke, the cautionary tale, the remember that guy who had so much potential but messed it all up. People whispered his name like a warning, laughed behind closed doors. He peaked too early, lost his edge. He's done. And while they laughed, he stayed silent. No posts, no explanations, no revenge rants, just gone. But he wasn't hiding. He was working, quietly, brutally, in the shadows, because some men don't scream when life burns them. They sharpen their teeth on the fire. When a man is broken, the world expects him to beg, to plead for sympathy, to broadcast his pain, to turn his suffering into entertainment. But not him. He vanished not because he was weak, but because he was done feeding people who never really gave a damn. He knew the world doesn't care about excuses. It respects results. In his absence, they built narratives. He's depressed. He lost his mind. He's irrelevant. What they didn't know was this. The silence wasn't weakness. It was a forge. And inside that forge, he was being remade into a weapon. In the beginning, it was hell. Lonely nights, empty bank account, heavy chest every time he woke up. He had nothing left except his shame and his shadow. But that was the moment everything changed. When he looked in the mirror and said, "This is all on me." No more pointing fingers, no more blame, no more pretending. That's when the old him died. A man becomes dangerous the moment he takes full responsibility for his life. He started waking up early, not for Instagram, not for clout, not to prove anything to anyone. He did it because the war inside him didn't let him sleep. He moved in silence, but every step hit like thunder. He hit the gym when his muscles screamed. He studied when his brain resisted. He worked when no one clapped. No stories, no updates, just progress. And while others chased pleasure, he chased pain because he understood what most don't. Pain is the price you pay for power. Discipline isn't sexy, it's silent. While others were partying, flexing, validating themselves with likes, he was stacking unseen victories. Every book he read, every rep he pushed, every urge he resisted, it all went unnoticed. Good. That's how he wanted it. Because when you build in silence, no one can destroy what they didn't see coming. People love to mock what they don't understand. And nothing confuses the average man more than a man who disappears to build. But he didn't care. He wasn't doing this for them. This was personal. For every time he was disrespected, for every time he was doubted, for every time he smiled while breaking inside. I don't need revenge, I need results. And he got them. Slowly, painfully, ruthlessly. The body changed first, then the mind, then the entire energy. No more second guessing, no more chasing anyone, no more tolerating mediocrity. He no longer needed validation because the mirror started to respect him, and that's the only respect that matters. You don't rise by screaming louder. You rise by getting too good to ignore. One day he returned. He didn't announce it. He just showed up, sharper, calmer, built like someone who had been through hell and chose to stay there until he became its ruler. The same people who mocked him now couldn't meet his eyes. His silence became unsettling. His presence felt like a storm about to break. He didn't need to speak to demand attention. His aura did the talking. They asked, "Where have you been?" He smiled. "Building." They asked, "How did you do it?" He didn't answer. Because the truth is, they don't deserve the blueprint if they laughed at the struggle. This is what most people will never understand. You don't grow when people are clapping. You grow when no one's watching. You become a monster not through motivation but through obsession, through war, through solitude, through relentless self-accountability. And he fought that war alone. He faced mornings where his soul felt heavy. He faced days where progress was invisible. He faced nights where the silence was louder than his thoughts. But he stayed in the fire. And that fire turned him into something you don't see often anymore, a man with edge, a man with depth, a man who didn't collapse when the world forgot him. He became the man who doesn't explain, doesn't beg, doesn't wait. He became the kind of man who laughs without smiling, the kind of man whose silence haunts the people who once mocked him. If you want to be respected like a king, you have to suffer like a servant first. He didn't post about discipline, he lived it. He didn't preach self-improvement, he became it. He didn't need to convince you he changed. His life screamed it for him. And what's truly powerful is this: he no longer cared who believed in him, because he finally believed in himself. Not the version they accepted, not the version that played it safe, but the version that walked into the storm naked and came out armored in fire. Now he walks differently, not because he's cocky, but because he knows what it cost him to stand tall. He doesn't need to argue. He doesn't need to win debates. He's not trying to prove anything. Because real power is quiet, and real men don't shout, they move. His energy now feels like gravity. It pulls, it commands, it doesn't beg. People want to be around him, but he's not around much anymore. He realized something crucial. Not everyone deserves access to the man you became in private. He outgrew their rooms. He outgrew their minds. He outgrew their expectations. And when you outgrow the world that once mocked you, you stop seeking revenge. You start seeking peace. Because peace is what the dangerous man chooses when he no longer has anything to prove. To every man listening, this isn't just his story. It's yours if you want it. You can disappear too. Not to run, but to rise. Not to escape, but to evolve. Let them laugh. Let them gossip. Let them think you're done. Because when you rise again, they won't recognize you, and that's exactly the point. So embrace the silence. Befriend the darkness. Make the pain your coach. Make the loneliness your forge. And when you return so sharp they'll question if you were ever the same man they doubted. They'll say, "You've changed," and you'll say nothing. Because silence is louder than applause. Because real growth leaves people speechless. Because the man who fixes his life in silence becomes a force no one can ignore. Every man has two choices: stay where life broke you or break life back. Fixing your life isn't about proving them wrong. It's about proving to yourself that the fire didn't kill you. It forged you. You want freedom? It costs your comfort. You want power? It costs your pride. You want peace? It costs your fake circle, your distractions, your weakness. So disappear, building bleed, break, rebuild, kill the version of you that settled, burn the bridges that led you to weakness, bury the boy who needed permission to be great. You will cry, you will suffer, you will want to quit, but you won't. Because deep down you know, no one's coming to save you. And that's the best thing that could ever happen to you. Because when you rise, when the world finally sees you again, let them choke on their silence. Let them freeze in disbelief. Because by then it'll be too late to doubt you. You'll already be unstoppable. You won't be loud, you'll be legendary. And this time, no one will laugh because they'll know you became the storm, and the storm doesn't ask for attention, it takes it. Thank you for watching. If you want to see more videos, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one.